Oh yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely. And I want to say this too. I was talking before the break about C Murder. He was denied a chance for a retrial, which is crazy because the witnesses all recanted their stories. Man, what do you know about what's going on? Have you talked to C in a while, or anybody in the camp that
I haven't
given you out?
talked to him. Talk to people and family and stuff, because for me, man, I'm different, man. He was my heart, man. That we grew up. Both our name is Corey. You know what I'm saying? Our names are Corey, man, and that was my guy, man. And we followed behind P and his big brother Kevin, God rest his soul. C was my guy, and so to see him like that, it hurts so much. It's hard to talk to him. I have not went to visit him, but I'm finally getting myself together to go visit him because if I see him and I can't leave with him, it hurts me because it's not a night I don't think about him. It's not a night I don't laugh about something. But this stuff with him and Mac especially, but more even with C, is bigger because all the evidence is there. Everything is there. It's something that's going on that somebody up high, and this is the way I feel, is saying, do not let him out. It's something that's going on that and this is honest the way I feel, man. If it takes violence where I could go find whomever that is and say, tell me why, and then fix it, I'll do it. And if it means I'd get life in it, because it's wrong what's going on, and it's not just some down south old boy politics. This is something bigger because it's right there. It's like, why are you afraid to? It's almost like saying, and I'm not comparing the two, in contrast to rap. It's like with Pac. You remember Pac was able to get out, and just the words and the songs and the things he did and what he was becoming and the leadership that he was becoming before he lost his life. It's almost like we're not going to let that happen again, let him out. Because you let him out, it's almost like the things he's going to say, the things he plans to do, it's like you can't let somebody like C out. It's almost like they're saying they can't let him out because he will have millions behind him. It's something to me. This is my opinion. It feels like it's something bigger, something so big, you know what I'm saying, that it's just like it's something, man. That's just the best way I can describe it. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't make sense. All of the evidence, like you guys said, is there. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in my personal opinion, I know he did. In personal and inside knowledge that I know he didn't do that. And I know people say this, and I want to say this: God rest the young man who lost his life. That never will go away from my mind, also, because he was a fantasy. And that right there, I know that she would never hurt. You know what I'm saying? And so, so that right there tells me, that my guy, would never do that. But all the evidence is there, man. And it's just like something does not want him out. And I want people to really start looking deeper into that. Like, for what reason you don't want him free? Why? If all the evidence is there, and if you're a lawyer, if you're a judge, you're supposed to, deep down inside, forget your paycheck. You're supposed to, do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Why they won't let him out? And it, and it's bigger, man.
Looks
it's
like
bigger
something
than rap.
seriously
Rap
wrong. Yeah.
I think it's a symbol, man. It's one of them things where, like I said, when they let Pac out, when Pac got out, Pac started wising up. He went through his thing and all the stuff that he went through with, the Biggie thing. It's sad to say, but you start seeing him changing, growing, his lyrics, and millions of kids following, like, we with you. You know what I'm saying? We with you. You breaking down what Thug Life really meant, and people were getting that. Kids was reading. I was reading books, things he was talking about, going read with Machiavelli, who he was, or just black history, things you got to think. To me, they look at that, and I know that's the way I feel. Like, we can't let him out. He a young man that went in with millions of Millions followed C. So you got to imagine you let him out. And that's what I think, you know, because they saw how powerful C was. C is behind bars, and he still was putting out music, and it was still selling huge. You understand? And he has a family. They don't care about that. You know, to me, sometimes he has beautiful daughters. They want them to be out there and messing up, but they won't. They're intelligent. They're strong. You know, so, and they're very educated, and they're continuing their education. But I just think it's something higher up. That's just my personal opinion. Not no one's saying that. It's my opinion, and I just think somebody should look into it. Like, why? Why y'all don't want him? Why y'all don't want him home? Why y'all don't want him out of here? What fear do you have? He's not just some guy that was killing a bunch of people and he's gonna get out and he's gonna kill more. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what is it? I think it's higher up, bro. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I agree. Just from looking at everything, and you know, I've been interviewing Steve since he's been in jail, and he's always maintained his innocence. And like I said earlier, the people recanted their story. So look, we was under pressure by the cops and whatnot, and you know, I mean, there's all the cause in the world for a retrial. Someone has to look into that, man. I think someone outside of New Orleans needs to come in somewhere and
I do better than this. You got politicians very high up, big, all the way up to the president knew. Why nobody touched that? The injustice. How many of our black leaders, so-called black leaders, and I'm not saying anything about President Obama. I'm talking about our black leaders before he was president that are all out here that scream about justice, right? How many of them have ever uttered his name? They won't say his name. They know it exists. They got ears to the streets, to the internet, everything. His story, when they declined this again, it was everywhere. All on CNN, it was everywhere. So why not? I want you to think about this. None of our big black leaders, the Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, the Cornel Wests, all these guys that will jump up the minute if a MAGA hat person curse somebody out, and they will jump and scream and lose their mind. But you see a man is being where it's just completely wrong. Nobody says anything. Nobody touches it. And it wasn't like he was this psycho rapper or this bad guy when he was going in. Forget the rap name, C Murder. Y'all know what it means. You know, he's explained what that means. It doesn't mean I murder. He saw it. You know, he lived through it. So the thing is, and you knew that he's a good father. You knew he was somebody that helped kids. He was going to boys and girls clubs way before all of this happened, always. So you knew these things. You never had bad things about him. So why all our so-called leaders, why won't they even pay attention? Why some of the biggest black lawyers or some of the biggest they won't even look that way? You know what I'm saying? Money-wise, I think if I had $1 million and I said, I'm going to go to this lawyer, most lawyers would never turn down money and give you $50 million. A lot of them probably won't touch it for some reason. That's why I feel like it's higher up.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we need to really start concentrating, like, who's above these judges? Who's above this? Who is saying, don't let him out? Because that's what it boiled down to. You know, and even with Mac at the same, I mean, what more evidence you needed? You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't let these guys out. I see other guys
Somebody
that
made some big mistakes and they covered them up, and I think they don't want to get caught. You know what I'm saying?
Guys seen rappers do something worse, man. I mean, just constantly get in trouble, and they get out home. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm sitting back like this, an innocent man. Everything is there. Both men are innocent. But with C case, I don't know. I just feel like it's that Pop thing. Like, we let him out, and look what he started doing. Look what he started, you know, after all the craziness. He started bringing people together, bringing things up. He had a vision that made sense, where you got gang members was ready to follow, put down arms and follow. And I think maybe they don't want C to touch these streets. But God willing, he will, because justice will prevail. You know, and he will get it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that's where we need to start. It's something high up. It's a conspiracy to me, and that's the way I feel.